Thank God it's Friday. If you're wondering why the lighting is different, it's because I'm actually in the brokerage today. And I'm pressed for time, so I'm doing the video from the brokerage. Today I'm going to talk about commodity prices like oil, because I'm sure you're wondering why gasoline is so expensive today. Spoiler alert, it's not because the carbon tax is going away next week. Next week, the tariffs are coming, so an update on tariffs. And an update on the polling. But first, a little lesson in history. Many people don't know this, but the movie 300 is based on real events. It's based on the Battle of Thermopylae. What are the important parts that are true? The Persians did attack the Spartans. Leonidas did lead an army to the Hot Gates to fight off the Persians. And Ephialtes was indeed a traitor who showed the Persians how to beat the Spartans. Why am I talking about this? I'm glad you asked. Because it's like the Canadians and the 51st Staters. What can we take away from this? Well, Ephialtes was promised many things by the Persians. So he became a traitor. And then the Persians screwed him over and gave him nothing. That's right. No citizenship, no statehood. They didn't even give him a thank you. No, what he got was taken out by the Spartans after his betrayal. Those who do not learn from history are destined to repeat it. Just a reminder. All right, what's going on with gas prices? There's two things happening in oil. One is affecting gas prices for you. One is not really. For Canadian oil, there's a rush of demand because of potential incoming tariffs next week. And I'd like to point out again that Canadian oil is sold on a commodities market that producers do not set the price. The price is set by a market. This is also true of steel rebar. This is also true of hot rolled coil steel. So when people tell you that the industrial carbon levy is affecting prices, they're being incredibly misleading. Or they have no idea what they're talking about. Because the prices are set by a market. They're not affected by the carbon levy. What else is going on? Why is gasoline expensive? Well, for about 10 days in a row, Brent crude was doing this thing again. What is this thing? It's a lot of buying and selling to push the price up. I don't want to say it's market manipulation by the Saudis, because I might not live to see the end of the year. But it could be market manipulation, and that ended yesterday. And today the price is falling. However, that did boost gasoline prices to about $2.25 US a gallon. That is falling, but it's a couple days difference between this price and what we see at the pump. The good news is that's still a lot cheaper than it was 1 year ago. And a reminder, they stopped collecting the carbon tax on Tuesday. And since we're on that topic, I want to point out that natural gas is still way more expensive than it was a year ago, and this has nothing to do with the carbon tax. Prices for natural gas should be falling because we're coming into warmer months. There's less demand. That's what happened last year. All right, the tariffs. I said they were absolutely positively coming, that they were going to be 25%, but they could just be 2.5%. Or they might not be coming at all. The Americans have been very clever with their wording on this, about what is American and what's not American. And they're trying to figure that out for themselves because auto parts go across the border so many times. Like, imagine for a second an engine. You and I would look at a crate engine and go, okay, that's one engine. But we all know that that engine is made up of a myriad of parts inside the engine. So is that engine made in the USA, or is that engine not made in the USA because maybe the pistons are made somewhere else? And that question and problem exists through the entire car. Like, just imagine, go through the car, everything you see in the car, like the radio. You can open that up, and then that radio is made of a myriad of parts, and those parts come from all over the world. And so what's domestically made and what's not domestically made? It's a disaster. There are some estimates that these 25% tariffs, quote unquote, could actually turn out to be 40% tariffs because it's a tariff on top of a tariff on top of another tariff. And now there's propaganda going around saying that these tariffs are not happening at all, and it's all lies from our government. Come on, people. Yeah, lies from the Canadian government are affecting the American stock exchange. Okay, sure. Speaking of lies, some of you don't understand what polls are or what poll trackers are. So I'll explain to you. A poll is just a question. It's a questionnaire. So different groups go out there and ask people, hey, what do you think about this? And then someone like the CBC and their poll tracker, they take all of those polls, all of those results, and they aggregate that into one readout that's easier to digest. That's what 338 Canada does, but they also add in voting tendencies, history, etc., etc., etc. And 338 Canada has been updated. Now they're seeing the Liberals get 187 seats. Manitoba's still a toss-up. The rest of Canada is going to vote Liberal, except, of course, for Alberta and Saskatchewan. Yes, that does say a 1% chance. Yeah, there's a 99% chance Liberals are going to win the election. 85% chance of a Liberal majority, a 14% chance of a Liberal minority, and a 1% chance of a Conservative minority. Remember to get out and vote. That's the most important thing you do. Just get out and have your say. That's it for me today. Enjoy your weekend.